Hi, Kim here from Expression Artworks, and I'm so excited to be starting a new project with you today. I'm using a 5x5 inch wood block, and I have this beautiful, colorful, and vintage style print that I got from Decoupage Central. I'm going to be using a small part of that for the surface of my wood. And I have my stencil from Essential Stencil that says Grace, Gratitude, and Grit. My Mod Podge, my chalk paint, my brushes, and everything else I need. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is turn my print over because I'm looking to trace my wood so I have the right size for the surface. Once I have that traced, I'm going to be cutting it out. Now I'm deciding what direction I want the paper to be, and I'm satisfied with that. So I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge my surface. I want to make sure I give a nice generous coat to the surface so the print will properly adhere and not try to come up. I'm going to carefully apply it, and I want to make sure I kind of start at the bottom and work my way up, making sure I am starting from the center out to prevent any air bubbles and make sure that paper is properly adhered. Now I'm ready to give it the second and final coat to act as a sealer and protect it. Also getting it ready for my stencil. Before I go ahead and put my stencil on, of course I have to make sure it is fully dried. Okay, so we're ready for the stencil. I love the way it came out. So because my stencil doesn't quite fit exactly on the wood and it hangs over a bit, I'm unable to tape it down, but that's okay. I'll just be careful and hold it down as I'm stenciling. I have my folk art chalk paint in rich black that I'll be using for my letters. And I also have a stencil brush, also from Essential Stencil, that I really love to use. I'm going to make sure I blot any excess paint, assuring that there's not too much paint on my brush before I get started. And I'll just apply the paint in a nice circular motion, making sure that I get nice coverage on all the lettering. Again, I don't want to have too much paint on my brush because I don't want that paint to get underneath the stenciling. And I'm also looking for a nice crisp look with the letters. I make sure to use my fingers as I'm working my way down to prevent the stencil from sliding. I'll carefully pull it up, and there you go. I think it came out really nice. So the last step I want to do is I have a Jim Holtz distressed ink in walnut stain, and I'm just going to kind of dirty it up and make it a little grungy around the edges. And I'm going to go all around. I'm also going to apply a little bit on the surface as I go, so it's not just a border, adding to that vintage style of the print. I also went ahead and I took a blue paint that matched the blue in the paper and went ahead and painted the sides of the wood. Thank you so much for watching.